The GOP is a cult-sized group who comprise 21% of America. They don't believe in science. Washington, D.C., February 19, 2004. More than 60 of the nation's top scientists, including 20 Nobel laureates, leading medical experts, and former federal agency directors, as well as university chairs and presidents, issued a statement Wednesday calling for regulatory and legislative action to restore scientific integrity to federal policymaking. They say President George W. Bush has suppressed and distorted scientific analysis from federal agencies, subjected government scientists to censorship and political oversight, and taken actions that have undermined the quality of scientific advisory panels. 38% of GOP members have a negative opinion of their own cult. If they leave the cult, as 22% have over the last 7 years alone, the GOP's cult will shrink to just 14% of America, a relief to the entire world. The GOP cult doesn't believe that global warming is real or man-made. But the facts are indisputable. After declaring 2008 the 10th warmest year on record, despite the strong La Niña that marked the year, the UK Met Office is predicting that 2009 will be one of the 5 warmest years ever. Average temperatures have climbed 1.4 degrees Fahrenheit around the world since 1880, much of this in recent decades, according to NASA's Goddard Institute for Space Studies. The rate of warming is increasing. The 20th century's last 2 decades were the hottest in 400 years, and possibly the warmest for several millennia, according to a number of climate studies. And the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change reports that 11 of the past 12 years are among the dozen warmest since 1850. Government Reform Committee calls an inescapable conclusion that the Bush administration is engaged in a systematic effort to manipulate climate change science and mislead policymakers and the public about the dangers of global warming. The report states, by controlling which government scientists could respond to media inquiries, the White House and agency political appointees suppressed dissemination of scientific views that could conflict with administration policies. June 25, 2008, White House censors greenhouse gas report. In the latest instance of the U.S. government apparently censoring climate change research, the New York Times reports that the White House refused to accept a report by its own Environmental Protection Agency, which stated that greenhouse gases are pollutants that must be controlled. The scientists state, in support of the President's decision to avoid regulating emissions that cause climate change, the administration has consistently misrepresented the findings of the National Academy of Sciences, government scientists, and the expert community at large. Thus, in 2003, the White House demanded extensive changes in the treatment of climate change in a major report by the Environmental Protection Agency. To avoid issuing a scientifically indefensible report, EPA officials eviscerated the discussion of climate change and its consequences. The Bush administration is appointing unqualified scientists with close industry ties to the advisory boards, March 8, 2004. In June 2003, the Bush administration published its comprehensive report on the environment that contained no information on climate change and did not address global warming. Jason Burnett, a senior official with the Environmental Protection Agency, who resigned June 9, 2008, charges that Cheney's office urged him to delete or water down testimony to Congress by top Bush administration officials on the impacts of global warming. July 9, 2008. Edits does not even come close to describing the grammatical massacre the White House undertook with CDC Director Julie Gerberding's Senate testimony on the public health effects of climate change. These were not minor edits the Bush White House PR spin machine would like us to believe. The word count for the CDC Director's Senate testimony went from 3,107 to 1,500 after the White House got through with it. Bush administration has blocked the release of a landmark assessment of oil and gas activity in the Arctic as it prepares to sell off exploration licenses for the frozen Chukchi Sea off Alaska, one of the last intact habitats of the polar bear, January 22, 2008. CBS's 60 Minutes, March 19, 2006. It is clear that an Exxon lobbyist was hired by the White House to censor NASA and other government agencies reporting to the public, including what Hansen believes is a dangerous tipping point in global warming coming in the next 10 years. The natural changes, the speed of the natural changes is now dwarfed by the changes that humans are making to the atmosphere and to the surface. NASA research. James Hansen started at NASA more than 30 years ago, spending nearly all that time studying the Earth. The heat wave that has already killed hundreds across Eastern Europe is no aberration. Since 1880, the frequency of extremely hot days has nearly tripled, and the length of heat waves across the continent has doubled. In 2004, a study led by Peter Stott of UK Hadley Centre for Climate Prediction and Research showed that human greenhouse gas emissions at least doubled the likelihood that a heat wave in Europe would take place in 2003. The 22-month period from September 2007 to June 28, 2009 so far makes September 2007 to June 2009 the driest 22-month period since 1885 at San Antonio. June 26, 2009, Chicago. The recent heat wave was a contributing cause to the deaths of at least 3 people, including a 10-year-old girl, the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office said today when releasing autopsy reports. With only 2 days left this June, June 2009 is so far the 2nd warmest June at Austin Mabry, the 8th warmest at Austin Bergstrom, a tie with 1980 for the 5th warmest June at Del Rio, and the 4th warmest June at San Antonio. June 25, 2009. The high of 104 at Houston Intercontinental Airport broke the mark of 99 set in 1980 and was the hottest June day since June 30, 1980. Houston Hobby Airport set a record of 101, topping the 98 set in 1933. California, June 2009. A record high temperature of 106 degrees was set at Paso Robles today. This breaks the old record of 103 degrees set in 2008. Arizona, May 16, 2009. Petrified Forest, 1931 to 2009. 91-degree new record high. Breaks old record of 90 from 1948. Leading U.S. scientists called on Congress Thursday to make sure the next president does not do what they say the George W. Bush administration has done: censor, suppress, and falsify important environmental and health research. February 2009.